everybody, this is Sky. And when I want to know what's going on in the wonderful world of sports, I tune to Sports World Radio.
Hey, this is EAJ Man from Autopsy Live and the Skype Pirates. When I want to make it look like I don't give a shit about sports, I tune into Sports World Radio with Jeff Escow.
Jeff
Doing bad time. Doing bad time. Got myself a problem.
from San Diego. It's Sports World Radio. You've never heard a sports show like this. Oh, no, you haven't.
Oh, blow me.
You got it.
Holy fucking shit.
What in the hell is your major malfunction?
Can't believe that goddamn son of a bitch did that fucking crap.
Don't give me any of your shit.
Right?
Yeah, that's right. Those are your hosts, Jeff Ascow and Sean Mann. Remember, those who can't play sports, talk about it. These two tell it like it is. Tune into Sports World Radio for the fastest hour of sports of your life. So here they are, the douchebags of sports themselves, Jeff Ascow and Sean Mann.
Hey, what's up, everybody, and welcome to Sports World Radio. That's right, I am the host, Jeff Escow. We got a jam-packed show like we do each and every day here at Sports World Radio. It's the Wednesday edition of Sports World Radio. Beep. The Wednesday edition of Sports World Radio here. We're going to have a lot of fun today, jam-packed show, like I said. Everybody's hanging out in the chat room with us at Spreaker.com. That's Spreaker, Spreaker.com. Come on over there and hang out with us. If you don't have an account, get yourself a free one. It's free. Sign up, type in Sports World Radio. The show will show up at the bottom of your room, bottom of your screen there. Scroll over to the right, click the bubble. Chat room will open up, and you'll be able to chat with us in the room. If you're hanging out with us at SportsWorldRadio.com, click the little donate button there and donate to the cause and help Sports World Radio keep doing what we like to do here at Sports World Radio. That's entertain you with sports talk and a whole bunch more. Facebook.com/Sports World Radio. That's Facebook.com/Sports World Radio. And while you're doing that, you might as well head on over to Twitter. Twitter.com/Sports World Radio. That's Twitter.com/Sports World Radio. 619-663-3715. That's 619-663-3715 is the number to get in touch with us here at Sports World Radio. SWRshow@gmail.com. That's SWRshow@gmail.com is the email address to get in touch with us here at Sports World Radio. With all the particulars out of the way, what do you say? Hey, we bring in the co-host of Sports World Radio, Josh Lopez. What's going on, buddy?
What's up, you freaking hump? How you doing, man?
Good. How are you, bud?
I'm good, man. Welcome, everybody, to Sports World Radio here on a Wednesday, February 4th. Weather right now, 23 degrees, Jeff. Overcast. It was snowing while I was doing my radio show this morning downtown. For some reason, it says the humidity was 96 today, which is strange for snow. But, yeah, it's been a crappy day out here. But how you doing, buddy?
Believe it or not, I'm going to piss you off right now because that's the way I roll. I just turned the air conditioner off 15 minutes before I went live. If that gives you any indication on how the weather is out here in sunny San Diego.
Perfect, right?
Yeah, I just turned the air conditioner off. The room is nice and chilly right now. By the time the show is over, I'll be sweating my hump off. Because it gets hot. Do you know? I didn't know it, but where I live in San Diego was the hottest spot in all of California yesterday.
That's crazy, man. It's like, I heard San Diego's like heaven sometimes.
Yeah, it was 83 degrees yesterday. Here, where I live in San Diego, 83 degrees. And it's got to be close up there again today. It's got to be about 85 outside right now.
I'm telling you right now, if you were here in Chicago, man, you would kill yourself.
Hey, I had my fill of East Coast weather when I was out there for my 30-year high school reunion. Laura's hanging out in the room with us. She says it's 52 there in Vicksburg, Mississippi. Did I say that right?
I got family down there in Tupelo, home of Elvis.
Tupelo, Mississippi?
Yep.
Mississippi. That's one of the first words I learned how to spell. Mississippi. Yeah, because it's so easy to spell.
Yep.
People think it's hard, but it's pretty easy to spell. Right?
Yeah, they got some good food. The women down there are nice.
I'm gonna have to get down there and visit Vicksburg, Mississippi.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to do that. Hello to my peeps out there in Vicksburg, Mississippi. Laura, her boyfriend, her mom and pops, John, and those people out there. Hey, peeps, how you doing? And even Laura's son. How you doing, little one? There you go.
Shout out to Kenny C and Andrew down in Kentucky. Also,
Those guys must be freezing their buns off out there, huh?
probably Dr. Myth, if he shows up today.
Out there on the other side of the pond, it's late for Dr. Myth, you know?
Yep.
It's late for Dr. Myth. I'm nice, but I'm a Yankee transplant. Oh, Jesus.
It's like everybody on the show besides me and Frank are transplant from different cities. You moved from New York to San Diego.
Yeah.
Sean went to Idaho, Montana, all over the place. It's crazy.
Yeah, I know. I'm saying. But even though I live in San Diego, I'm still a diehard Knicks fan.
Yep.
You know? And for baseball teams, not so much.
Fan.
And a Giant fan. But baseball teams, not so much. But basketball teams, you bet your sweet petunias on that. So my friend, Josh Lopez, program director, producer, and now co-host of the show, what do you got planned for us, you rat bastard?
Well, I wanted to throw you a bone first and talk about college basketball.
Oh, really?
Start off. Because coming into the Sports World Radio, it was announced that Syracuse announced a self-imposed postseason ban for the 2015 season. So Syracuse will not be participating in the playoffs this year.
They will not be in the NCAA tournament?
Nope.
And that's self-proposed?
Yep, self-imposed, yep.
Why did they do that to themselves?
I guess it was somewhere where the league and NCAA was going to either fine them or take something away from recruiting. It's been a back-and-forth discussion. I've been hearing about the story for a while now about Syracuse and the issues they've been with the NCAA. It's a tricky situation, Jeff, but I'm surprised they're not going to be in the playoffs. But
that's Jim Boeheim,
this
man.
would be a weird way for Jim Boeheim to end his career.
I don't think it's going to end his career there. I think it's just going to probably last for 1 year, and they're doing it themselves. NCAA is not even doing it. So what does that tell you about Jim Boeheim?
Yeah. But you can't take it away from him. The guy's won a lot of games.
I mean,
he may not have the championship background like other coaches, but I think he's a respectable coach.
And he's been there for a long time. He went to college there, and now he coaches there, right? They're talking about it on ESPN right now. Syracuse self-imposed postseason ban on men's basketball team. Syracuse in ongoing NCAA investigation into, what does that say? Potential pass infractions. So it has to do with grades, I'm guessing.
Academics?
Academics, yeah, that's what I'm guessing. Oh, potential past infractions. Something that happened in the past.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So probably something like boosters or something.
Yeah, something like that. So he's imposing a 1-year ban. Jim Boeheim is doing it themselves and imposing a 1-year ban. So basically this season is for naught. I mean, right now they're 15-7 overall and 6-3 in the ACC. So they're not really having a good season.
Yeah, they're not playing that bad right now. I know it's early. I mean, it's almost a month before March Madness, but who's your early favorite to win the national championship this year?
I know they're not playing very well right now, but I really like them, and I've always liked them. I'm a big freaking Rick Pitino fan, so I like Louisville. I've been watching a lot of Florida basketball lately. I like Florida a lot. Kentucky's pretty damn good. You know? It's filled with a lot of mediocre teams right now. There's not really one team except for maybe Kentucky that's the top team right now.
I would say Wisconsin. They're 20-2. I think they're ranked 5th in the NCAA right now. Just looking here at the standings, also Villanova, like you said, 19-2. Virginia, number 3, 20-1. That's pretty good, to say the least.
3 20-1?
Yeah, 20-1.
3 20-1? Or 20-1?
20-1.
Oh, that's number 3?
Yeah, they're ranked number 3.
Oh, I thought you said they were 3 20-1.
No,
what the heck?
That'd be like a hockey stat.
Yeah, I'm like, they can't be tied. What are you talking about?
My bad. It's all good though.
No, I misheard you. I thought you said they were 3 20-1. That's why I asked it again.
Well, it's kind of interesting now. You know how college football they changed their playoffs format. We're not going to get into that. Not a big college football fan.
Duke is not playing bad basketball. Duke's playing pretty damn good lately.
It's been kind of oversaturated in my opinion with like teams from the Atlantic Coast or the SEC or let's see what other team. Yeah, like the Big East where these teams dominate the championship areas. There hasn't been a Big Ten team that's really dominated.
There's not going to be a Big Ten
besides
team.
Ohio State, right?
There's not going to be a Big Ten team that there's not going to be a Big Ten team or a Big 12 team that's going to dominate basketball for a while. As long as you got Kentucky doing what they're doing, and as long as you got Duke doing what they're doing, and as long as you got Louisville doing what they're doing, Big Ten teams are going to be hard to get in.
How's San Diego State doing?
They're doing pretty good, but they've lost some games that they should have won.
Mm-hmm.
They're out of the top 25, which is not good.
Are you watching just the men's, or are you watching women's?
I'm watching just the men's right now. They don't show too many women games.
Mm-hmm.
They don't show hardly any women games on TV. They show pretty much all the men games on TV.
Yeah.
But they don't show the women games, so it's hard to get to watch women games unless you actually go to them. I ain't freaking going to them.
I'll openly admit I'm not the biggest college basketball fan. I just don't have a lot of time to watch it. Where I'm already covering all major four sports and then all my wrestling stuff. So, like, I watch college basketball for the tournament. It's always fun to watch.
Usually
unpredictable.
Usually people don't start watching college basketball till really the end of February. Really, actually, really beginning of March when the tournament, when the mini tournaments start.
Yeah.
When the mini tournaments, the ACC tournament, the SEC, the Big East, those tournaments start, that's when people really start to get into it. And then it goes right into the NCAA tournament. So it's like right around mid-March because the tournament usually ends April 1st, April 2nd, right?
Yeah.
So right around March is when people start to get into it. Right now, this is like November, December is really like preseason for these guys. Yeah. And now it starts because pretty much every game now will start to count. If you lose a game now, you're going to be hurting.
Yeah, it's such a tight race.
How the heck?
Race. Even though obviously basketball got more games than college football, but like you said, each game is important, and you can't lose games to teams that you should beat.
I'm looking at the top 25.
That happens with the Big Ten a lot.
I'm looking at the top 25 right now. You got Kentucky number 1. I'm shocked about the number 2, which is Gonzaga.
Gonzaga, man, it's always been the college basketball powerhouse.
I'm shocked. I'm shocked that they're number 2. I live out here on the West Coast. Mm-hmm. I don't hear much about Gonzaga at all. And I live on the West Coast. And I live on the West Coast, for Christ's sakes. You know what I'm saying? And I don't hear much about them. Mm-hmm. And then you got Virginia number 3, Duke number 4, Wisconsin 5, Arizona 6, Villanova 7, Kansas 8, Louisville 9, and Notre Dame 10. There's your top 10. I'm looking at the top 25. San Diego's not even in there.
Yikes.
Yeah, I'm going to see actually where they're at right now. I'm scrolling down. They don't give me any more than the top 25? Let me see here. Nope. So if you're not in the top 25, you might as well forget about a good seed for the tournament. Mm-hmm. Correct?
Yeah. Is there any particular stars right there in the college basketball world that you think are going to be instant success in the NBA?
Well, the only one that everybody's really blabbering about now is Okafor, right?
Yeah.
That's pretty much the only guy you really hear about, correct?
Yes, sir.
You're not really hearing about 2-3 other guys like you normally do, are you?
No, not at all, actually.
Everybody's only really talking about Okafor, right?
It's kind of like the whole second generation thing. Not second generation. I mean, I think it's like the cousin or brother, right, of the other Okafor.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So all in the family. That's where they get the press from. Anyway, moving forward. Today was a big day for sports. It was college signing day, national signing day for football. Did you see anything about that? Have you had any interest, Jeff?
Does my silence tell you anything? You like that, right?
Oh man.
I turned
I
my
don't
okay.
blame you, man.
I woke
the cure
up.
for insomnia.
I had
college football.
a meeting at 11 o'clock this morning, so I got up at about 10:30, right? And I turned on my got into the studio, and I turned my TV on, and it was on ESPN. They were talking about, signings that are coming up such very quickly. So I got off of that and went to ESPN, and they had ESPN2, and they had the same exact thing on. Both stations live. I'm like, What is this crap? What about all the other sports people that don't give a flying fig Newton about signing day? You have to put it on 2 channels? The hell out of here.
They got so many networks, yet they show the same stuff on every other network.
It's ridiculous. Put it on ESPN News that I don't get in the studio so I don't have to watch it.
Mm-hmm.
Why do you got to put it on ESPN and ESPN2? Bog down 2 freaking channels with the same crap. Because that's what it is. It's crap. I'm shocked. I'm shocked that the NCAA allows this to happen.
Well, come on, Jeff. What do you mean? You don't like hearing the stories about the mothers forcing their kids to pick a certain college?
No, I don't give a flying fig Newton.
Ah.
No, and you know what it's doing? You really want to know what it should be? It should be illegal. They should make this illegal because what it's doing, it's giving free publicity to those colleges.
Is it an early rat bastard candidate?
Could be a very early rat bastard candidate. I don't like the fact that they do this signing day crap.
I'm with you, man. It's a waste of air.
It's a waste of time because you know what? Who cares which kid goes to what team? He's a damn freshman. How do you know that he's going to be good? Huh? It's just a freaking guessing game. That's all it is. You got no clue. That kid could go up there, the game could be too fast for him, and he falls right on his goddamn face. Just because he was a dominant in high school, don't mean worth the hill of beans that he's going to be that way in college. Just because he's good in college, Johnny Manziel, Tim Tebow, don't mean he's going to be worth the hill of beans in the NFL.
Exactly. Or Austin Rivers for the NBA, just because he was Doc Rivers' son.
I just don't get it. Mm-hmm. They make a big deal out of these signings. 90% of these kids fall flat on their face. And now you just embarrassed the living crap out of them because now all of America knows where they're going. Now they're going to watch him and see if he falls on his face. Let me ask you a question. The people that did the freshmen that they did this to last year on signing day, did you hear about them all in college?
Yeah, man, they did a full day of, you know how they usually have.
How many of them played well for their schools, Josh?
I don't know.
Not many, right?
All I knew about these college signing days, Jeff, was the fact that they did the National Under Armour football game where the high school starts, and they go to the reporter, and then they announce what team they're going to. That was the only thing that I remember that because that was the game that played before the NFC or AFC divisional round games. They always simulcast that on NBC.
Talk about, and the NCAA bitches and moans about tampering, right? Mm-hmm. If this is not tampering, I don't know what the hell is.
There's tampering in all sports, Jeff.
You know what I'm saying? You're celebrating a kid signing to your school. Now, that celebration gets viewed on TV. Another kid sees it and says, oh, wow, maybe I'll go to that school. So that school's getting free publicity on TV. What's up with that?
I'm voting for that.
I hate that
to be my Rat Bastard week.
I hate signing day for football and for basketball. I hate it completely.
How about the combine?
From college to pros, that's different. They
Okay.
got to have the combine because they got to see how these people move and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? That's different. But going from high school to college, where the kid, okay, the college is going to make money off of this kid, and the kid ain't going to make a dime. Okay, the college is making money off the kid right now from all the publicity that he just got, and the kid's not making a dime. Is that fair?
No,
Exactly.
but they're already going to be on a microscope because they play on national television. They got all these expectations for scholarships.
And how many of them are going to fall flat on their face?
Yeah, exactly. That's why I don't really pay attention to those sign days. It was all over my face on Twitter when I was trying to do my show earlier, and it was getting pretty annoying. But it is what it is.
I can't stand it.
Let's move forward to the NBA, Jeff. I found out this morning that Dwight Howard from Houston has a bone marrow injection to his knee. He's gonna be out for a month.
He's gonna be out longer than that. I read that article today. They're saying they're gonna evaluate him in 4 weeks. Okay.
That's a big loss for Houston.
Yeah, they're gonna evaluate him in 4 weeks. I don't expect him to come. I expect him to be out a minimum of probably 2 months, and that's a big chunk of the season right there.
How do you think that affects Houston's seeding in the playoffs?
If he's not back before the playoffs, they'll be lucky to make the playoffs. With that competition in the West, are you kidding me? With that competition in the West, that door has just been opened for a team to come in there and take it away from them. No doubt in my mind.
Mm-hmm.
No doubt in my mind.
I like Houston. I think they're a good team. I think James Harden is definitely a MVP candidate. Just the stats the guy's putting up. He may not be the best defender in the world, but the guy's been having great games every single game. I do these show recasts, and the guy has the highest score for every game. It's ridiculous. You also got Trevor Ariza, not the biggest player in the world, but a quality guy that's been a journeyman in the NBA.
They got no post presence no more. Ariza's not going to be the man. Are you kidding me?
Well, you got a Sheik, but that's it.
You know what? Their inside game just went to crap. They better hope and pray they start making a lot of jumpers.
Yeah, that maybe they might be interested in making a trade or something.
You know, I mean, they're sitting in 3 games behind Memphis right now. They're 33-15, Houston. They're 33-15, 3 games back of Memphis. They're in second spot.
Mm-hmm.
I would not be shocked if they end up right above New Orleans, where San Antonio is sitting right now. Can you believe that San Antonio is 6 games out?
It just tells you how great the West is, man. There's so many great teams right now. Memphis is playing great. New Orleans is playing great. Portland ran into an issue that Houston's dealing with now. LaMarcus Aldridge got hurt. I think he's going to be out for another 5 weeks.
Houston.
The West is stacked right now. I really don't know who's the favorite heading into the playoffs for the West, to say the least.
Okay. New Orleans, the Lakers, Sacramento, Minnesota, and Utah are not going to make the playoffs. You could say that right now. So that leaves Portland, Oklahoma City, Denver, Golden State, the Clippers, Phoenix, Memphis, Dallas, San Antonio, and Houston. One of those teams aren't making it.
Ah, man.
See what I'm saying?
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? Houston.
If one big star from either Houston or Portland gets injured again, who knows who could be? They'll probably miss the playoffs, or vice versa for Memphis or even the Clippers. It's tricky, Jeff, but there's a lot of great basketball playing in the West. What can I say? I mean, Memphis 36-12. I didn't see that.
Yeah, I know. Memphis is 36-12. Golden State is 38-8, and Portland's 33-16. Those are the 3 top teams in the. And Houston is 33-15 and about to be taken over because Dallas is 33-17. I could see Houston going down and just missing the playoffs if he's not there before the playoffs start. That's a big problem because if those injections don't work, he's going to have surgery, and he'll never be the same.
Yeah. I'm looking at the stats here. Portland's 12-11 on the road. That's not good. New Orleans, the issue they got there, 9-16. Oklahoma City Thunder, even though KG and Russell Westbrook are back, they're 10-17 on the road. It's not good. I'm surprised. Oklahoma City is probably the biggest disappointment in the NBA so far this year for me.
I pay attention, but I really haven't been paying attention. I'll start paying attention to it probably in about another couple of weeks, because then it'll start getting hot and heavy. Usually I don't pay attention to basketball until after the All-Star break.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Are you looking forward to the All-Star game or no?
I like the shooting contests the best.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I like the shooting contests, the skills contests. I don't so much like watching the slam dunk competition anymore.
Yeah,
I'll put the game
garbage.
on, and I'll have the game on. I'll watch it, but I'll probably be doing some work while I'm watching it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Are you surprised they're not doing the game at Madison Square Garden and they're just having it at Barclays?
Well, they gotta pump up Barclays somehow. You know, they gotta get Barclays pumped up somehow. That game's been at Madison Square Garden so many times it's been ridiculous.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's nice to have it in New York. Even though it's Brooklyn, it's nice to have it in New York.
Well, I thought it was a cool idea to start off the show, talk about your favorite sport, mixing it up a little bit here
Yeah, I'm
and
sure
there.
Laura loved that. She hates basketball.
Yeah.
You know what she said to me? We were talking after the show yesterday. She said to me, she goes, anytime you guys talk about basketball or wrestling, I'll just go to sleep and I'll wake up when you're done.
Hey, I talked about wrestling for 3 hours today.
I bet. Yeah, I know. You do it every day, don't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, see? Hey, there you go. Talking wrestling every freaking day. I don't think I could do that.
Well, I only do it once a week.
Oh, you only do it once a week?
Yeah.
Nice. Hey, let's run to our bottom of the hour break. You're listening to Jeff Escal and Josh Lopez on
Sports World Radio.
We'll be right back.
This message brought to you by FEMA. Stay fire safe this winter. Turn portable heaters off when you go to bed or leave the room. Keep anything that can burn at least 3 feet away. Plug portable heaters directly into wall outlets. Inspect and replace damaged cords, broken outlets, or loose connections. Use portable heaters with an automatic shutoff so that if they tip over, they turn off. Only use portable heaters approved by a recognized testing laboratory. Learn more at www.usfa.fema.gov.
Did you know that just 30 minutes a day of physical activity can improve your health and decrease your risk of heart disease? For every hour of regular, vigorous exercise, you gain 2 hours of life expectancy. So start walking for yourself and for your heart. Start walking with your family. You'll feel better. Start walking in your community. You'll lead happier and healthier lives. Start walking. Start something. Join the movement today. For more information on the American Heart Association's START program, visit startwalkingnow.org and start walking. Start something.
This message brought to you by FEMA. Home fires occur most often in winter. Keep anything that can catch fire at least 3 feet from heating equipment. And never use an oven to heat your home. Stay in the kitchen when frying, grilling, or broiling food. Turn space heaters off when you leave the room or go to bed. Make sure all vents are clear of snow and ice to allow carbon monoxide to vent outside. Have your furnace, heating system, and chimneys serviced each year by a qualified professional. Learn more at www.usfa.fema.gov.
Welcome to the Man Manual. Man comes with a multifunctional casing known as skin. It is remarkable. Warning, standard body wash can cause damage to man's skin. Maintain it properly with Dove Men Plus Care Body Wash. It cleans man and protects skin from dryness. This will keep man's skin remarkable, even under extreme testing. Dove Men Plus Care Body Wash. Skin care built in. Also, freshen man's exterior with new Aqua Impact Body Wash.
Hey everybody, this is Sky. And when I want to know what's going on in the wonderful world of sports, I tune to Sports World Radio.
Welcome back to Sports World Radio. Jeff Escal, Josh Lopez bringing you the fastest 2 hours of sports talk each and every Monday through Friday right here on SportsWorldRadio.com. That's how they do it in London. In England, they start off really high and then they go down really low like this. You ever notice that?
Yeah.
You ever notice that? When you're watching something from London, they do that all the time. They go like this. Hey, welcome everybody. How you doing?
Yeah, and then they drink some coffee after that.
Yeah. Oh no, they drink some tea with their pinky sticking out.
Yeah.
Right,
exactly.
right, Dr. Myth? What the hell are you, Dr. Myth? You rat bastard. Where are all my London peeps? Gary, you one-armed freaking hump. Dr. Myth? What the hell are you freaking peeps, man? I understand it's midnight over there. Wake up!
The Washington Redskins didn't make the playoffs. We haven't seen them since.
We haven't seen them since they lost 3 in a row. What, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
He's out of here. He don't want to be around us. He can't handle the truth.
Neither could Adrian.
Yeah, I know, but that poor kid.
Yeah.
That poor kid owes me a head. Owes me a shaved head.
Hey,
man.
Guys, help him out, man. Get that subscription to Sports World Radio.
I know, that poor kid owes me a shaved head. All right, what do you got next for me, Joshy?
It's time for the Skippy Bayless Bash Hour.
Great. Bring it on. What does Schmuck say today?
Skippy Bayless said that my New England Patriots are better than the 2000 Baltimore Ravens.
I thought he was going to say better than my Dallas Cowboys. See, that's what he should have said.
Don't trust me. There's a lot of Dallas Cowboys.
I'm sure there is. I could just tell by him because that's the way he rolls. If he's not saying something about the New England Patriots, he's saying something about the Dallas Cowboys.
Mm-hmm.
Right? There's only 2 teams he talks about. That's those 2 teams. Unstinking believe. Hey, see, that's apples and oranges. You can't say that. It's like saying who's better, Michael Jordan or LeBron James.
Yeah, it's 2 different eras.
Correct. You can't say that, you schmuck. You know better than that.
Hey, the defenders get to hit the receivers back then.
That's right. Not the
you
way
can
they
barely
are
give
now.
them a high five today. It's a penalty.
That's right. You put your finger on the jersey, they're gonna call holding on you.
Mm-hmm.
It's ridiculous right now. Although I saw a lot of holding in that Super Bowl game that they didn't call. A lot of jersey pulling.
Yeah, don't get me started on this Super Bowl. It's ridiculous. Anyway, Skippy Bayless said my Seattle Seahawks will finish last in the NFC West next year.
Okay, so now he's saying my Seattle Seahawks, my New England Patriots, my. See, every time we do a Skippy segment, it forces me to smoke a cigarette. I don't know why,
hey,
but
Skip
talking
Bayless
about this guy just agitates me so much that I have to smoke a cigarette during the segment. Otherwise, I'll get agitated.
Skippy Bayless said...
And I might hang up on people and piss people off.
True. Skippy Bayless said that he's excited that the All-Star Game is going to be at Barclays Center.
Yeah, you know why? Because it's close to him. He can go to the game.
Mm-hmm.
That's why. He doesn't have to travel. He could stay in his own bed.
Maybe they could do First Take at Hard Rock Cafe.
I want First Take out here 2016 for the All-Star Weekend. I want them out here, man. I want them to do their show the whole week out here.
I know how you feel about ifs, Jeff, but what if First Take came to San Diego and the event was for a Super Bowl in the Chargers' new stadium?
I'm first one in the line. I'll leave my house at 3 o'clock in the morning and get in line and stand there until they open up the door. I don't care. I'll be first in line every single day. And because what they'll do is they'll have the Mike and Mike show, and then they'll do the Skippy show, and then they'll do his and hers. All 3 of them probably in the same building, right? Like they did over this week, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what I'll do is I'll get in line for the Skippy show, but I'll be able to watch and listen for the other show. You know what I mean? Because I want to be on TV, and I want to be harassing Skippy the whole 2 hours. The whole 2 hours.
You're going to be part of Kerry's court, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. oh, yeah, every day. Every day I'm going to get up there and ask Skippy a question. Every day. I'm going to ruin your life. Every single day you are in San Diego. Count on it, woman.
You should have a sign saying "my this, my that." Just like raise it up.
I'm gonna do my this, my that, my Sports World Radio.
That's good idea there.
You like that, right?
Yeah, not bad.
That's right. I'll get him. Don't worry about it. They show up in San Diego, you know what's gonna happen. The show might not go on for a week, but you know where I am. And I'm bringing back some good stuff to the show.
Skippy Bayless said that First Take is the Today Show of sports talk.
First Take is the Today Show of sports.
You know how like the NBC Today Show?
I happen to disagree with you. Very much so. Because you really don't give out the right information. You think you do, but you don't, because you're a biased sports broadcaster.
Mm-hmm.
You're not a neutral sports broadcaster like Stephen A. Smith is. Even though he has some teams he likes, he's still a neutral sports broadcaster. He tells it like it is, where you, on the other hand, side with your team whether they stink or not, which is good, but you're not neutral. So therefore, when you talk about a team that you like, you go overboard. When you talk about a team that you don't like, you don't go hard enough at them.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. I can't stand him.
Well, come on, Jeff. He says Kerry and Stephen A. are the best trio in sports talk.
They're
Jeff.
not. I know a better twosome that's better than you and Carrie or you and Steven. You know what? I know a better twosome that's better than the three of you. And you're listening to him right now on Sports World Radio.
Yeah, live every Mondays through Fridays.
That's right. Well,
6 p.m. in the East, 5 p.m. in the Central, and if you live in the West.
It's 3 p.m. We do this show 2 hours a day just like they do their show 2 hours a day.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yep.
And we go at each other. They don't go at each other like we do.
No, not at all. Skippy Bayless said that Johnny Manziel will make a big comeback and he'll win the NFL Comeback Player of the Year.
Oh, so now all of a sudden you're kissing his ass? Wasn't it a couple of weeks ago that you were burying him? Now all of a sudden you're kissing his ass again?
Well, he did say that he does enjoy his work on the field, but he did admit that he made some dumb decisions off the field.
You enjoy watching that debacle on the field?
Hey, he says he's the next Joe Montana.
I'm okay. You know what? Why don't you put your money where your mouth is? In fact, I got something better than that. If he doesn't become the next Joe Montana, you have to stop doing First Take.
Well, come on, Jeff. You're going to make him go home?
Yes. Yes, I am. And if he does become the next Joe Montana, I'll stop doing Sports World Radio. There you go. The bet has been made. Accept it.
Hey, all I'll say is that Johnny Manziel will never be in the playoffs, so we don't have to worry about that.
Johnny Manziel is going to have one of the... I'm trying to say it the way I want to say it without saying it the way I want to say it. Johnny Manziel is going to be just like Tim Tebow.
I'd say he's going to be like Ryan Leaf.
Could be, but more so, I think he's going to play a couple of years. Bounce, he'll probably go to another team and play, and then that'll be the end, just like Tim Tebow.
Here we go, Jeff. Skippy Bayless said that Charles Barkley should be the ambassador of the NBA.
I'm telling you, he has a hard-on for Charles Barkley. I am telling you, he has a serious hard-on for Charles Barkley.
Mm-hmm.
He does. He's got him coaching almost every team in the NBA. He's got him coaching an All-Star game. He's got him coaching an NFL team, if I remember correctly. He's got him coaching a hockey team, if I remember correctly. He's got a serious hard-on for the two guys that he's got serious hard-ons for is Charles Barkley and Jerry Jones. Mm-hmm. No doubt about it. A serious hard-on for both of them. He's got to get over his man crush. He really does.
Skippy Bayless said that he appreciates Colin Cowherd going to his defense yesterday.
I'm missing this. Spike Lee is on ESPN talking about the Knicks. Jesus, criminy. Sometimes I hate doing this show in the 3 o'clock hour because I miss stuff like this.
Mm-hmm.
What did you say about Skip?
Skippy said that he appreciates Colin Cowherd coming to his defense on his radio show yesterday, saying that he works harder than anybody on the ESPN crew.
Skippy does?
Yeah.
I don't care. Skippy doesn't work hard. He's got people that work hard for him. Okay? Why do you think he's got all of you? You really think he wrote up all those papers? No. Somebody else typed all that crap out, printed it, and handed it to him. Number 2.
You got your own papers, Jeff.
I got no papers in front of me. Nothing.
Nope.
Number 2. He's got somebody in his ear all the time telling him what to say.
Yep.
If he messes up, oh, no, say this. I got nobody in my ear but Josh. And if he tells me what to say, you're going to hear him tell me.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? I don't play that. Whatever comes out of my mouth, guess what? Comes off of the top of my head. Doesn't come from a piece of paper. The only time I use paper is when I'm reading an article to you guys or I'm giving a bunch of stats, stuff like. Otherwise, everything comes off the top of my head. Skip.
Mm-hmm.
It's not pre-rehearsed. Skip.
One more. Oh, go ahead.
It's not pre-rehearsed. Skip. We don't have 5-hour meetings to decide what we're going to talk about and how we're going to talk about it. Jesus, criminal.
One more Skippy quote before we go to the update. Skippy Bayless said that the Dallas Cowboys will be better than the 1972 Miami Dolphins and will go undefeated next season.
Okay. Put your money where your mouth is, bitch. What's today? He said that today?
Yeah.
Okay.
He said it on Stephen A's radio show.
Mark that on the calendar. They're going to go undefeated and they're going to win the Super Bowl. He said it now.
Yeah, February 4th.
He's making his prediction now. Mm-hmm. Okay? So when they lose for the first time, we rip them.
Yep.
When they don't make the playoffs or they don't make the Super Bowl, guess what happens next? We rip them.
Ripped.
He's exactly right because he opened up his mouth. Great prediction. I'm okay with it, but I know it's not going to happen.
Yep.
Because you know what? Football is not played the way it was in 1972.
Yep.
Football is not even played the way it was in 1985. Football is not even played the way it was in 1995. Football is not even being played the way it was in 2000. In fact, football is not even being played the way it was in 2005. So you can't make that comparison anymore because it's a different game than it was back then. On that note, we're going to run to a commercial break. You're listening to Jeff Escal and Josh Lopez on
Sports World Radio.
We'll be right back.
I had PTSD. Once I was back from Iraq, I was distant from everybody in my family.
We had a reunion of our unit, and you'd hear these spouses say, "Is your husband doing that? My husband's doing that too. I thought it was just us." And really understanding that, hey, this is a common experience.
I learned more to listen to what he was saying, and that made it easier for me to understand where his pain was coming from.
Warriors should know that resources are available. Learn more at realwarriors.net.
Every parent wants the safest and healthiest products for their family. That's why I created The Honest Company. I was just a concerned mom with a crazy dream. A wish that there was a company that I could rely on that did all of the hard work for me. I'm Jessica Alba, and The Honest Company was my dream.
LegalZoom has helped 1 million businesses successfully get started, including Jessica's. Launch your dream at LegalZoom today. Call us. We're here to help.
Confusion ever someone or have sudden you trouble had speaking, understanding?
Understanding trouble? Have you sudden have or speaking someone ever confusion?
Have you ever had sudden confusion, trouble speaking, or understanding someone?
It could be one of the 5 signs of stroke.
Sudden weakness or numbness of the face, arm, or leg.
Sudden trouble with vision in one or both eyes.
Suddenly having trouble walking or difficulty with balance.
Or a sudden intense headache that comes out of nowhere.
If you or someone you know has any of these symptoms, don't wait. Call 911 immediately. You could make a difference in someone's life, someone you love, maybe even your own.
It's late until, wait, don't too. Don't wait until it's too late.
Time lost is brain lost.
Find out more at powertoendstroke.org. Brought to you by the American Heart Association, American Stroke Association, and the Ad Council.
Hey everybody, this is Sky, and when I want to know what's going on in the wonderful world of sports, I tune to Sports World Radio.
Welcome back to Sports World Radio. Jeff Escow, Josh Lopez bringing you the fastest 2 hours each and every Monday through Friday right here on SportsWorldRadio.com. 6 p.m. on the East, 3 p.m. on the West, and if you live in the Central,
you can figure it out yourself.
you can. I don't know if they can, but you live in the Central, don't you? You are able to figure it out. Frank lives in the Central. You can figure it out.
Yep.
Right?
Big Chubby Win at yahoo.com.
BigChubbyWind@yahoo.com. I hope you have that email address.
I do have it, actually.
BigChubbyWind@yahoo.com. That's a great email address, dude.
Yeah.
That really is. Look at this. We got Shabbat back in the room, and we got Laura hanging out with us.
Yeah, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed the show so far.
Welcome, boys and girls. See, hey, Laura, wasn't it a lot easier to find the show today when I actually posted it on your Facebook page? She was on yesterday's show. The reason why she was late is because she was at Monday's show. She wasn't on Tuesday's show. She was on Monday's show. So I said, I'll just put it on your Facebook page, and you just click the link, and you can go right to it. She said, okay.
We got a couple more Skippy quotes here before we hit the top of the hour.
Go for it.
We got some wrestling ones as well. This next one, Skippy Bayless said that my Atlanta Hawks are going to be the most disappointing team in the NBA in the second half.
His Atlanta Hawks?
Yeah, Atlanta Hawks.
All of a sudden, they're his Atlanta. I told you what was going to happen. He's going to pick the best team in the league and the best team with the record right now, and he's going to put the word my in front of it. See, as soon as he said my Atlanta Hawks, my next question to him would have been, I thought Cleveland was my Cleveland Cavaliers. What's the matter? You're not rooting for them no more? You're jumping off the bandwagon and going over to Atlanta and calling them mine? That's the first thing I would say to him.
You should hear this one. Skippy Bayless said that my Golden State Warriors will beat my San Antonio Spurs.
How do you say something like that? You can't have... You put the word my in front of every team. That's not the way a true broadcaster works, jackass.
You gotta stay neutral, you freaking hump.
Has he ever put the word my in front of the Pelicans? No. You want to know why? Because they stink. Just like the New York Knicks stink. Just like the Philadelphia 76ers stink.
Well, you should hear this, man. Skippy Bayless said that my New York Knicks should hire Jeff Van Gundy, Charles Barkley, Reggie Miller, and Patrick Ewing to the coaching staff.
What world does this guy live in?
I don't know, but he thinks Derek Fisher is an incompetent coach.
How many years has Derek Fisher been coaching, Skip? Not even one. He's got no team. I don't give a crap who the hell the coach is on that team. You know what's going to happen? You're going to end up with the same stinking results. You know why? Because they got no stinking players. That's why. This is a throwaway year.
Anthony Davis could beat the Knicks by himself.
This is a throwaway year for the New York Knicks. As a Knicks fan, I knew that coming in. And if you put the word my in front of that team again, then you should know that too. So obviously you don't. So do not put the word my in front of that team because you're not a Knicks fan. You're a Knicks basher. See, that's what I think he does. I think he puts the word my in front of the team he wants to bash so people don't really understand that that's what he's doing.
Yeah, he likes to mix it up here and there.
You know? And then he contradicts himself all the time. He changes his mind more than a woman changes her tampon when she's on her period. So, I mean, for Jiminy Cricket's sakes, what the hell?
Oh, man.
You know?
Next one here. Skippy Bayless said that Super Bowl 50 should not be at the home of the 49ers. It should be at the home of the Dallas Cowboys.
Of course, because you have a hard-on for that son of a bitch.
Mm-hmm.
Of course. What wasn't it there last year?
No.
Or 2 years ago or something like that when it was really super cold?
The last Super Bowl in Dallas was in 2012, if I'm not mistaken, if it was the Packers Super Bowl.
Yeah, didn't they have one in Jerry's World?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's enough. Give some other places a chance to hold it. You know where they should really hold it every year is in San Diego because it's beautiful every year. You won't have to worry about the freaking weather.
Hey, you're saying that so you can use a trolley to get down there.
Not only that, I want to see Skip every year here. I want to hear him bitch and moan and complain.
Yeah.
Then I'm going to tell him, hey, if you don't like it, get the hell out. It's that simple. You don't like it, leave.
Moving forward from the NBA, we're moving to a wrestling quotes he had here. Skippy Bayless said that there's no hope for the WWE and that no matter who's in charge of the company, it won't matter because it will suck.
Yeah, I guess he doesn't watch it, does he? He just likes to talk about it. It's kind of like everything else he does. He really doesn't watch sports. He just talks about it.
Well, he says something to say. It comes out of his ass.
Yeah, well, he talks out of both ends
Mm-hmm.
most of the time anyway. You know.
I wonder if he just decides, maybe he eats like a big burrito or something. He takes a dump and he's like, you know what? I'm gonna come up with something just to say it for the hell of it. Maybe
I'm
we'll
sure
get
he
some people
does.
talking.
I'm sure he does.
Mm-hmm.
Bastard. I'm sure he does. Look, Chris Jericho versus Skippy Bayless in a 10-foot steel cage match. See, that I would like to see.
Jeff Escott versus Skip Bayless in a Hell in a Cell match.
Oh, bring it on. Bring it on. I'd rip him to shreds.
Mm-hmm.
I'd rip him to shreds. I would love that. Actually, you know what we should do is put us in a steel cage match, put us at a desk, and let us debate inside the steel cage match.
Mm-hmm.
Inside the steel cage. So if anything goes wrong, I just pop him with the freaking mic and start beating the crap out of him, and nobody can come in and stop me.
A strap match.
Ooh, I like that. That's good.
The Caribbean strap match.
Beat him like the stepchild he is.
Skippy Bayless said that the interview with Stone Cold Steve Austin and Triple H was a waste of time for Austin because he should be the one that's running the WWE.
Who should be running the WWE?
Stone Cold.
No. The man who's running it right now is going to be running it until the guy dies. And then when that happens, you know who's taking over. That's why he's being groomed for it right now. You know that as well as I do.
Vince McMahon got more grapefruits than Jerry Jones will in his entire life.
That's right. That's right. Vince McMahon's got more. You're damn tootin'. No doubt about it. Jerry Jones can't do half the things that Vince McMahon does. Not in his wildest dreams.
Skippy Bayless said that he should be the booker for WWE.
Dude, you got a hard enough problem dealing with your own show. Okay? You got a hard enough problem dealing with your own freaking show because you say so much stupid crap. Nobody trusts you no more.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yep.
So I would just be quiet, dude.
Skippy Bayless said that the NHL should be extinct and it's a boring sport.
NHL should be extinct and it's a boring sport?
Yep.
I don't believe that. And in fact, coming up at the top of the hour, on the other side of the hour, is our good friend, Ron Gallo, and we're going to be talking hockey for the next hour at the top of the hour. Right now what we're going to do is we're going to run to our very first update of the day. This update is brought to you by the Flipper. Are you guys tired of going to the bathroom only to see the toilet seat up, and then you got to go over there and grab it to put it down? Well, now you don't have to no more. Head on over to flipperflipper.com and get your Flipper today. Never, ever touch your toilet seat ever again to lift it up or to put it down. That's flipperflipper.com. Get your Flipper today. Take it away, Josh Lopez, with the first update of the day.
Thank you, Jeff. Welcome, everybody, to the first of two updates here for Sports World Radio here on Wednesday, February 4th. Let's go to the NBA. Tonight, we got a big game slated for you. We got the Detroit Pistons at the Indiana Pacers. The Washington Wizards at the Atlanta Hawks. The Denver Nuggets at the Boston Celtics. The Chicago Bulls at the Houston Rockets. And the Dallas Mavericks at the Golden State Warriors. Moving down the list to the NHL. Tonight, we got a matchup of two original 16s. It's the Boston Bruins against the New York Rangers. We also got an interesting matchup with the Pittsburgh Penguins and the Edmonton Oilers. And we also have the San Jose Sharks against the Calgary Flames. Also, moving forward to the college basketball world, it was announced that Syracuse self-imposed themselves out of the NCAA tournament, which includes the March Madness tournament in March. Also, it was National Signing Day for the college football world. So, all of you fine folks down there in the South, they like your college football. Congrats to the nice new talents that are in your programs. This has been your Sports World Radio update brought to you by the Flipper. Go to flipperflipper.com. We'll be right back with more Sports World Radio at the top of the hour with Ron Gallo to talk hockey. We'll be right back.
Storms move fast, so we use the best technology. That includes Bosch Icon wiper blades.
They're beam blades with memory tension springs and an aerodynamic design,
which means they fit the curve of the windshield. Bosch Icon wiper blades wiped our windshield clean and outlasted any other blade we've used. In my opinion, the Bosch Icon wiper blades are the best blades out there. Bosch Icon wiper blades, how storm chasers clear the way.
Welcome to the Man Manual. Man comes with a multifunctional casing known as skin. It is remarkable. Warning, standard body wash can cause damage to man's skin. Maintain it properly with Dove Men Plus Care Body Wash. It cleans man and protects skin from dryness. This will keep man's skin remarkable, even under extreme testing. Dove Men Plus Care Body Wash. Skin care built in. Also, freshen man's exterior with new Aqua Impact Body Wash.
Hi, I'm Montel Williams. Most of you know me as a talk show host, but I'm also an author, actor, single father of 4, a fitness writer, avid snowboarder, and I'm also a medical marijuana patient. Like many of the million people who are living with multiple sclerosis, I'm in pain every single day. And sometimes my nerves are so raw that if you brushed up against me in an elevator, I'd scream. I can't sleep at night from the pain, and sometimes the spasms in my legs are so intense they will wake me up throughout the night. I've tried the strongest prescription medications available, and I'm going to tell you, they do not work. In fact, they leave me in a stupor, and most of the time, it's impossible to even live your life. Now, I've tried medical marijuana, and I'm going to tell you something, it works. If you'd like more information about medical marijuana, you can contact the Marijuana Policy Project at mpp.org or call 1-877-JOIN-MPP.
Hey everybody, this is Sky, and when I want to know what's going on in the wonderful world of sports, I tune to Sports World Radio.
Welcome back to Sports World Radio. Jeff Escow Jeff Escow, Josh Lopez, and now joining us like he does each and every Wednesday to get some hockey into Sports World Radio, the hockey guru of Sports World Radio, Ron Gallo. What's up, buddy?
Oh, how you guys doing? I was just talking off the air that we're expecting a little bit of Great White North stuff coming our way. 20 inches over the next couple of days.
20 inches over the next couple of days, and you're selling Mustangs in the snow. That's a great freaking title for a song.
Hey, you want to know something? If you've got some Mustang lovers living and listening down south of the border, maybe we can strike up a deal because we are obviously pricing them to be sold no matter the temperature.
Selling Mustangs in the snow. Boy, somebody's going to write a country song, and the title's going to be Selling Mustangs in the Snow.
That's awesome.
That's a good title for a song. So how's everything going out there in Canada, eh?
I think everything's going good unless you live in Toronto, but we'll touch on that in a little while. We had the All-Star break while you were sick, and the All-Star game set a record number of goals. So obviously it's all offense and no defense.
Well, it's turning into a football game now.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah. Isn't that the
speaking
way
of
all
which,
All-Star
I
games
understand
are?
that there was some kind of, I don't know, some kind of a sport played on the gridiron on Sunday. Was it anything worth mentioning?
Did you watch it?
I did, actually. I was the MC of a Super Bowl party up at a local pub.
Oh, so you got to watch the whole entire game then, huh?
Yeah, we watched the entire game. Watched Seattle come back and make it a tie game at the half. Watched Seattle with a miracle catch that should have secured them a Super Bowl, but they found a way to snatch defeat out of the jaws of victory.
Oops.
Do you guys get NBC out there?
Yeah, we were watching the American. We were watching the American station on satellite.
All right.
Where do you think he lives, dude? In freaking China? Do you get the NBC station out there?
Hey, it's a different country. Calm down.
Canada
It's a
for
different
Jiminy.
country. We had to tune our igloos in just right to get the game.
They had to
Hey,
turn
look
their
at the
igloo.
nice lovebirds in the chat room.
I know.
Hockey's coming up, babe.
Yeah, I know. They're talking. Shabbat and Zan Rose, Shabbat and Laura are over here, boyfriend and girlfriend. They're both in the chat room. They're both huge hockey fans. So Josh and I were talking basketball pretty much the first hour of the show, and then we got into some Skippy quotes. Both of them are going, Z, 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 Z. And I said, don't worry, Ron's coming in to talk hockey. But now look at them. They're both hyped up and ready to go.
Hyped up and ready to go. And that's what's happening right now in the NHL world. People are starting to get a little hyped up because the trade deadline is coming up soon.
It is, isn't it? A lot of things going on out there in the hockey world, isn't there?
Oh, I know. It's every week it's something new. Every week, every day, almost.
Hey,
but
really quick.
right now, the center of the universe, as far as hockey is concerned, especially in Canada, it's a joke. But it's the Toronto Maple Leafs, and they have free fallen for a while now. And the old coach that got fired, I'm sure he's laughing somewhere because the Toronto Maple Leafs now have gone winless in 10 straight.
Wow.
And I mean, it's gotten so bad that the fans are throwing jerseys on the ice during the game, and a couple of fans have been charged with littering.
Really? How much?
Yeah.
How much is that fine in Canada?
It'll range, and I mean, they're probably trying to make an example of they're trying to make an example of the people that have been throwing the jerseys. So I expect it to be quite hefty. It's in front of the courts right now. It happened last week. But it's really sad because, I mean, the thing is, we touched on this, I believe, a little while ago. And the bottom line is that you can't be fair weather fans. I mean, it's okay to be upset. It's okay to question decisions that are made. It's no different than that, the pass instead of a run play at the end of the Super Bowl game. Lots of people are questioning the coach's decision on all of that. Certainly right now, there's a lot of questions in the Toronto Maple Leafs organization about the management structure because the management is pretty young. But the team, it has the pieces, but there's a lot of reports coming out of the dressing room that says that the team is uncoachable. And knowing that they've already fired one coach and now they've gone on a 10-game losing streak, it would suggest that it is starting to look more and more like it's a player's situation as opposed to a coaching situation. Mm-hmm. But there's some good talent in that Toronto Maple Leafs organization. And what's going to happen is the trade deadline is going to see a lot of movement out of that Maple Leafs jersey.
Now, as the second half of the season starts, is there any teams that you think is going to break out and potentially steal a playoff spot?
Well, you got to start looking at the wild card spots for that question to be answered. And last night there was an interesting game played out in the West Coast between the Winnipeg Jets and the Vancouver Canucks, and both of those teams are fighting for that wild card spot. Went to overtime. The Vancouver Canucks edging out the Winnipeg Jets by a 3-2 score, but they remain 2 points back of the Winnipeg Jets as far as that wild card spot goes. So it is definitely some interesting races now in the middle of the pack. The interesting race, we touched on this, maybe in the top spot, is a team that I would not have picked at the beginning of the year to be that high up in the standings. Tied for first overall in the NHL, the Nashville Predators are number one in the Central Division, tied with the Anaheim Ducks, number one in the Pacific Division. Those two teams are 1-2 in the NHL, both coming out of the NHL's Western Conference. The interesting thing about the two conferences is that the NHL's West versus the NHL's East is almost starting to take on the West looking more like a skilled side, whereas the East is looking more like a physical side. Certainly Pittsburgh fans, Washington Capitol fans will have an argument for that, but at the same token, when you look at the West, they're winning it offensively, whereas the games in the East are a little bit more defensive oriented, a little bit more physical in nature, and certainly some heated rivalries out east.
Yeah, I like Nashville. It's a team that would catch you off guard, but if you let them take a lead and you don't capitalize it, you're going to make a big mistake about it, especially with the defensemen they got there, like Shea Weber and Roman Josi. Mike Ribeiro is having one of the best years as a center, in my opinion. Also, Mike Fisher's not playing that bad either.
Yeah, Mike Fisher is not playing that bad at all for Nashville. I mean, he moved to Nashville when he married and started dating and then ultimately married Carrie Underwood. But that move to Nashville was great for Mike Fisher to get out of Ottawa and end up with Nashville. Definitely, he has him and that team have reaped some benefits by Mike Fisher showing up down there.
How about for the Eastern Conference?
The Eastern Conference is a tough one to call because when you look at the points, all of the teams are within 10 points of each other that are currently in a playoff spot. You have Tampa Bay sitting at the top with 69 points. Right behind them, the Montreal Canadiens and the Detroit Red Wings have 67 points. Then you get to 64 with Pittsburgh. In there was the New York Islanders at 65, the New York Rangers, the Washington Capitals have 62 each, the Boston Bruins are 61. So when you're looking at that, there's 8 teams that are all within 8 points of one another. So that one's going to make for a very, very tight playoff race down the stretch run. And if they keep seesawing, as the saying goes, the playoff matchups will not be set and determined until the very end. But it might also be an opportunity for a team like the Florida Panthers, believe it or not, and the Philadelphia Flyers to slip in there and maybe steal a playoff spot as well.
Yeah, I thought Florida and Philadelphia have been one of the more surprised teams. Another one is the New York Islanders, 32-17, 65 points right now. They're playing great at home, but they got some road issues as well.
The New York Islanders, maybe what they've got to watch out for is their consistency is going to come back and bite them. They've been consistent throughout the year. They are currently on a 3-game losing streak. Their last 10 games, they've got their 6 wins and 4 losses. I don't think that you need to flip the panic button just yet, but the New York Islanders need to be able to step it up as they start heading towards that stretch run down to the playoffs and be able to maintain that spot at least at the top of the Metropolitan Division, if not make a couple of strides and move up a couple of more notches in the Eastern Conference altogether. When you look at the Eastern Conference right now, they are holding on to the last home playoff spot with 65 points, and there are a couple of teams that are hot on their heels, like the Pittsburgh Penguins. And the Pittsburgh Penguins are starting to click again. They're starting to get it together. They did lose the other night, but they are starting to click and get it together.
Man, that Sidney Crosby is a freak, man. That guy, when he's healthy, man, he gets points almost every single game. It's crazy.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, as Sidney Crosby goes, there's lots to be said as that's how the team goes. But the interesting thing, and Pittsburgh and Edmonton are going to meet here tonight. The game is being played in Canada, in Edmonton, Alberta. The interesting thing about these two teams, they actually have some similarities. It wasn't that long ago, and it's what led to Pittsburgh actually getting Sidney Crosby in the draft, is that Pittsburgh was free-falling a few years ago, ended up with a number of first-round draft picks year after year after year. I think it was 5 years, which Edmonton has had the same luxury of having 5 top picks overall. So Edmonton is hosting Pittsburgh tonight, and it's a chance for them to look into the crystal ball because they are in the same path that the Pittsburgh Penguins were in a few years ago when Pittsburgh started loading up in the draft and getting players like Sidney Crosby to come and play for them. So the Edmonton Oilers have already got those players, those top 5 picks, if you will. They're already starting to get seasoned. They're already starting to, that's actually the argument. They haven't quite developed the chemistry. So the Edmonton Oilers tonight, they obviously want to win on home ice against a team like the Pittsburgh Penguins. But it'll be interesting to watch those two teams because the Edmonton Oilers are almost the younger sister of the Pittsburgh Penguins, as it were, if you look at the timeline that these two teams have gone through here in recent history.
I'm not really that big of a fan of Pittsburgh. I mean, I know where my loyalty lies with the Hawks. Pittsburgh's just like one of those teams. Yeah, they have a lot of great talent, but I agree with Laura in the chat room. They play way too dirty for all that talent they have on the ice, just like Boston or Detroit or even Vancouver at times.
It's interesting because we get to actually talk about Boston without hearing some booing on the other side of the microphone. But the Boston Bruins, we've known this for years. The Boston Bruins are very dirty. They're a very chippy team. They will push that line. They'll see how far they can go. The funny thing about the Boston Bruins is that this year they're actually suffering from the same ailments that they tried to dish out over the years past, and that is it's their players that are being hurt and being injured with freak plays that are borderline, whether they're dirty or whether they're penalties that need to be called. The Boston Bruins are starting to get healthy. They're starting to win again, but they're still in that situation where they are on the bubble. They are holding down the 8th and final playoff spot in the East right now, and they will have to play. I think they'll have to play a better game than they have in years gone by. And I think that they're going to have to rely on some of their strengths offensively and defensively as opposed to their strengths physically.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. I think there's a great competition in the Eastern Conference. It kind of remind me of the Western Conference in the NBA. There's just a lot of great teams, and there are going to be a lot of close series in the playoffs. But we'll see what happens. We got to head to a commercial break.
That's right. We're going to run to a quick commercial break. You're listening to Jeff Escow, Josh Lopez, and Ron Gallo on
Sports World Radio.
This message brought to you by FEMA. Home fires occur most often in winter. Keep anything that can catch fire at least 3 feet from heating equipment. And never use an oven to heat your home. Stay in the kitchen when frying, grilling, or broiling food. Turn space heaters off when you leave the room or go to bed. Make sure all vents are clear of snow and ice to allow carbon monoxide to vent outside. Have your furnace, heating system, and chimneys serviced each year by a qualified professional. Learn more at www.usfa.fema.gov. This message brought to you by FEMA. Be fire safe during the holidays. Only use decorations that are non-flammable or flame retardant. Check holiday lights each year for frayed wires or excessive wear. And do not link more than 3 strands. Never leave a burning candle unattended. Consider using battery-operated flameless candles which look and smell like real candles. If your celebration includes a natural tree, keep it away from any heat source or exit. Water your tree daily to keep it from becoming dry. Learn more at usfa.fema.gov.
This message brought to you by FEMA. Stay fire safe this winter. Turn portable heaters off when you go to bed or leave the room. Keep anything that can burn at least 3 feet away. Plug portable heaters directly into wall outlets. Inspect and replace damaged cords, broken outlets, or loose connections. Use portable heaters with an automatic shutoff so that if they tip over, they turn off. Only use portable heaters approved by a recognized testing laboratory. Learn more at www.usfa.fema.gov.
What kind of person gets to work in the sunshine instead of an office? This kind of person. I am the new way to work. I do have an office. I'm just not chained to it. It's a Regis office at one of the nicest addresses in the city. I don't have a lease, so I don't have to budget for stuff like phones, IT guys, and artwork for the lobby. Instead, I pay one low monthly rate that gives me a beautiful lobby that impresses my clients, a friendly receptionist, a fully furnished office, a place to meet, and a place to brainstorm with my fellow New Way to workers. We wonder why more people don't realize that the new way to work is the best way to work. I come here because I want to, not because I have to. I am the new way to work, and I'd like you to join me.
Start now and get 1 month free. Call 1-800-OFFICES or visit regis.com/TV.
Hey everybody, this is Sky, and when I want to know what's going on in the wonderful world of sports, I tune to Sports World Radio.
Welcome back to Sports World Radio. Jeff Escow, Josh Lopez, and Ron Gallo bringing you the fastest 2 hours of sports talk each and every Monday through Friday right here on SportsWorldRadio.com. Ron comes in every Wednesday in the second hour of the show to give us some good hockey stuff that normally Josh and I don't talk about during the week. That's why we bring Ron in to get our hockey fix for the week. That's why Laura's here, because Laura's a big hockey person. So, Ron, got any more hockey stuff?
Just a little bit. I was checking out Laura's comments there that the Chicago Blackhawks disappointed her last night. They're going to have to be very, very smart on Friday, too, because they're taking on the Winnipeg Jets, and the Jets are coming off of a little bit of a stinger. Evander Kane, this is a Winnipeg Jets forward, was benched as a healthy scratch in last night's game against the Vancouver Canucks. So one of two things is going to happen. Either Evander Kane is going to kind of cry foul and start asking for a trade with the trade deadline coming up on March 2nd, or he's going to pull up his socks and you're going to see a pretty tough game from Evander Kane and the Chicago Blackhawks. So could be an interesting matchup for Laura to watch on Friday night.
There you go, Laura.
I don't know what's up with the Blackhawks. I mean, it's like the Winnipeg Jets is just like one of those teams they can't beat for whatever reason. And they got players on the Jets that also won the championship with the Hawks in 2010.
That's true. And I mean, there's always... I was starting to read a story, and it was about fighting, but it's true because the hockey world is so small. It's not really that these people don't know one another. These players know each other. They're like family almost. Right. I mean, they see each other every couple of weeks, especially if they're playing in the same division or in the same conference. Not so much if they're playing in opposite conferences, but at the same token, I mean, the hockey world is a pretty small world. When you start going backwards in a lot of these players' history, you start seeing where these paths started crossing when these players were in their teens, when they players were playing junior hockey and then moving on to, in some cases, to NCAA, or going over to the AHL or wherever. But a lot of these players have known of each other for years and years and years, even long before they started playing in the NHL. So you talk about a couple of players that are playing for Winnipeg that have Stanley Cup rings with the Chicago Blackhawks. You know those players are going to step up because they're going to want to beat their former teammates. So, yeah, I mean, that always makes for a great rivalry for sure.
Oh, the Blackhawks, just one more question. What do you think's the biggest thing they need to work on if they want to have a chance to repeat this season?
I'm sorry, Josh?
No, I'm saying, what's the thing you think the Hawks need to work on if they want a chance to win their third cup in, I think, almost 6 years?
I think I'm not sure if it's something they need to work on as opposed to something that they need to make sure doesn't happen. What happens when a team does, for the most part, stay together, you start going away from that team and you start becoming more individualized. So you look at certain players, and all of these players, look at the All-Star game. I mean, 5 of the 6 in the starting lineup in the first team All-Star team were Chicago Blackhawks. When you have that much talent, when you have that much celebrity, when you have that much going on for you inside the organization, remembering where it all started and being able to play like a team with that kind of chemistry and that unity is where it's tough. So if you're asking me what they need to work on, I think that what they need to be careful is that they don't work individually, that they work as a team. If Chicago is going to do what I think that they can do and are capable of doing, because in essence they have the same team that's hoisted the cup a couple of times in previous years, they have to make sure they're playing as a team and not as individuals.
Right.
It's gonna be interesting. Jeff, you got any questions?
No, I'm good. I'm listening to you guys.
I'm looking at the standings right now. Obviously, you're always gonna have your Anaheim Ducks. You got also St. Louis, who always finds a way to put their name in the ticket. As far as seeding is concerned, is there any particular teams in the West, that have a great start in the first half, but you think they may have a second half?
Well, I already mentioned a couple, but St. Louis is one that'll have to watch out. St. Louis has done this in the last couple of years where they can't get deep into the playoffs. They do well in the regular season, but then all of a sudden they just tail off. Even right now, St. Louis has won 6 straight. Their last 10 is a 9-0-1 record. They've got points in their last 10 games. They want to maintain that kind of pace. They want to continue moving forward. They've got Brian Elliott back, so certainly, I mean, they're looking good. Speaking of the St. Louis Blues and Elliott coming back, and now it's official, Martin Brodeur has retired. He's also picked up a front office job, which surprised me when I heard Jeff. But he's going to be working in the front office of the St. Louis Blues, a team that he played with for 2 months.
Really? Not going back to Colorado? I mean, to New Jersey?
No, I mean, his entire career, save for 2 months when he was with the St. Louis Blues, was played with the New Jersey Devils.
Right.
He was at the draft table when they drafted his son into the New Jersey Devils franchise, into the organization last summer. But now he's taking up a role in the front office with the St. Louis Blues. Just bizarre. And his ties are still with New Jersey. The Devils are going to have an alumni game in the next couple of weeks, and Brodeur's playing in it.
Really?
It's so bizarre. I mean, everything about it is bizarre. When he left the Devils to go sign the practice card with the St. Louis Blues and fill in because of the goaltender injuries with the St. Louis Blues. I mean, that struck you as more odd than it struck myself. But what's transpired since is just, to me, is just bizarre.
I wanted to get your thoughts. I just saw right now. It said that Vic Ho, who is Gordie Ho's younger brother and former player with the Rangers, he passed away at the age of 85. Do you have any memories of Vic Ho?
I don't have very many of Howe. It's pronounced Howe. Sorry, Joseph. But I mean, Josh, I don't have very many memories. I mean, but certainly the Howe name and Gordie Howe and Mr. Hockey. There's a book out now for him. I mean, you're right. That family, there was the few sons that played hockey, but it's not much else for me to comment right now on that one. But certainly, I mean, any time that you lose somebody, it's like a family member, and that's what I want to leave this as. I mean, I want to be careful about celebrity status. I mean, just because a person's in the news doesn't make their death any more or any less significant than somebody who doesn't have a celebrity status. People go through this all the time. So I do want to be careful about that. More people will recognize that person than, say, the neighbor down the street who all of a sudden you just realize is no longer with us. So I want to be careful with that.
Oh, that's cool. It's understandable. And condolences go out to the whole family. My bad. I guess the next question I can ask is there's any coaches that are on the hot seat right now?
There's coaches on the hot seat. I mean, the coach by definition is hired to be fired. And that goes from the NHL level right down to the junior ranks. Any coach is on the hot seat. One of the coaches that maybe needs to be watching out is the Los Angeles Kings coach. I say that because, I mean, Sutter had taken the team, the Los Angeles Kings, to the Stanley Cups and hoisted the cup here. Now he's struggling to get into the playoffs, and when you look at that, the Los Angeles Kings, the year that they won the Stanley Cup, they actually were not a hot commodity. They were kind of the team that snuck in the back door and ended up in a playoff spot and just started knocking off team by team by team. And the next thing you know, they're hoisting the Stanley Cup at the end of the playoffs. But they need to get into the playoffs if they want to have a hope of doing that again. The problem is that they are significantly out of a playoff spot right now. When you look at the point structure, the Los Angeles Kings have 54 points. There are two other teams with 54 points: the Minnesota Wild, the Dallas Stars. Colorado has 55. You look at Calgary Flames and the Vancouver Canucks, they're tied with 59 points. Winnipeg Jets have 61. San Jose Sharks have 61. When you look at it, Los Angeles Kings have a little bit of a ladder to climb. And standing in their way are teams like the Calgary Flames, who are finding a way to win games when they're almost out of it. They're being called the Cardiac Kids right now. They're 7-3-0 here in their last 10 games. They're on a 2-game winning streak. Los Angeles Kings going the exact opposite direction. They only have 2 wins, 2 outright wins in their last 10 games. They have 5 losses and 3 overtime decisions against them.
It's going to be interesting. I mean, second half of the season, I thought the start game was pretty cool. The shooting night, the night before the All-Star game was really cool. Team Taze against Team Foligno from the Columbus Blue Jackets. Is there any news as to where the All-Star game will be next year?
Yeah, it's already out there. Wasn't expecting that question, so I don't have your answer for you. The All-Star...
I just said some other on my head.
That's okay. The All-Star game itself comes to the NHL. One of the big things that happened in Columbus, and I think what you're going to see is you're going to see this probably in a couple of years where it will really start to manifest itself. But they really made it a fan experience. They got players to go out into the community. It wasn't a case of the fans with money got an opportunity to see the players that had all come from the NHL to showcase their abilities. What it was those NHL players got to showcase the NHL to people that didn't otherwise know about the game, even being in their own backyard. So there was a lot of fan interaction at schools, at the malls, anywhere where people gathered in large quantities. The players were out there. And that's the one thing that everybody was talking about afterwards. It had nothing to do with the fact that 29 goals were scored in the ultimate game. Everybody was left with was how approachable the NHL players were, how accommodating it was, and how much fun that the fans were having. And I think you're going to see that with the NHL a little bit more. You're going to see that fan interaction being developed for the next couple of All-Star games. And where you're going to see benefits, it's no different than a few years ago when Wayne Gretzky was traded to the Los Angeles Kings, and there became a resurgence of hockey in the Sunshine, well, it's not the Sunshine State, that's Miami or Florida, but on the West Coast, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so you ended up with a hockey hotbed out west in California. Nobody would have ever thought that. Wayne Gretzky shows up and all of a sudden hockey is a thing in California. As much of a thing as it is out east in New York and Boston and Philadelphia and Pittsburgh and Minnesota, which is Detroit, is a hockey town.
Yep. Jeff, let's get to our final update. Jeff.
A final update to do. Take it away, Josh Lopez, with the final update. This update was brought to you by the Flipper. Head on over to flipper.com and get your Flipper today and never, ever touch your toilet seat ever again. Take it away, Josh.
Thank you, Jeff. Welcome, everybody. Sports World Radio, if you're just tuning in. It's 30 here Central Time. It'll be 7:30 out of the East and 4:30 out in the West. We'll go into the NBA tonight. The Chicago Bulls are taking on the Houston Rockets. That game will be on ESPN. The other ESPN game tonight will be the Dallas Mavericks at the Golden State Warriors. There's other cool games going on tonight. We got Memphis at Utah. We also got Denver at Boston. We also got, let's see if I'm not mistaken, Orlando at San Antonio. That's going to be a pretty good game as well. The NHL, 3 games tonight. We got Pittsburgh Penguins at the Edmonton Oilers. We got a original 6 match between the Boston Bruins and the New York Rangers. And we got the San Jose Sharks at the Calgary Flames. This has been your Sports World Radio update brought to you by Flipper. Go to flipperflipper.com. We'll be right back. More sports talk with Jeff Escal, Josh Lopez, and Ron Gallo.
Welcome to the Man Manual. Man comes with a multifunctional casing known as skin. It is remarkable. Warning, standard body wash can cause damage to man's skin. Maintain it properly with Dove Men Plus Care Body Wash. It cleans man and protects skin from dryness. This will keep man's skin remarkable, even under extreme testing. Dove Men Plus Care Body Wash. Skin care built in. Also, freshen man's exterior with new Aqua Impact Body Wash.
Why does consultant Jerry Howell stay at La Quinta?
Can you come back tomorrow?
Because only with La Quinta can Jerry instant hold the room tonight using just his phone number. And then power down for tomorrow on his pillow top bed. And when Jerry's refreshed, you know what he does?
We need ideas, people. Think. Synergistic integration. Genius.
He thinks outside the box.
I'm going for it. No.
La Quinta Inns and Suites take care of you so you can take care of business. Instant hold your next stay on your smartphone at LQ.com.
La Quinta.
Hi, I'm Montel Williams. Most of you know me as a talk show host, but I'm also an author, actor, single father of 4, a fitness writer, avid snowboarder, and I'm also a medical marijuana patient. Like many of the million people who are living with multiple sclerosis, I'm in pain every single day. And sometimes my nerves are so raw that if you brushed up against me in an elevator, I'd scream. I can't sleep at night from the pain, and sometimes the spasms in my legs are so intense they will wake me up throughout the night. I've tried the strongest prescription medications available, and I'm going to tell you, they do not work. In fact, they leave me in a stupor, and most of the time, it's impossible to even live your life. Now, I've tried medical marijuana, and I'm going to tell you something, it works. If you'd like more information about medical marijuana, you can contact the Marijuana Policy Project at mpp.org or call 1-877-JOIN-MPP.
Hey everybody, this is Sky, and when I want to know what's going on in the wonderful world of sports, I tune to Sports World Radio.
Welcome back to Sports World Radio. Jeff Escal, Josh Lopez, and Ron Gallo talking hockey with you for the last hour. We can continue the hockey talk with Ron Gallo. So Ron, which team in the NHL right now, in your eyes, is destined to win the Stanley Cup?
Oh, heart versus head in this one, eh?
Yeah.
This one's going to be a tough one because you know what? There's technically 3 teams that are charging to the forefront that I would have never expected to be there. The Tampa Bay Lightning, the New York Islanders, and the Nashville Predators. The Anaheim Ducks, I'm okay with. I think that if I went back and I checked on my early season predictions, I would have said Anaheim would have been in the Final 4. Would that make them into a Stanley Cup contender? Not entirely sure if I went that far. I did say Chicago would be in the Final 4. I figured Pittsburgh would be in the Final 4. And I probably went with my heart saying Montreal would be in the Final 4. But not one of those Final 4 picks at the beginning of the season are actually at the top spot of either of their divisions. The Montreal Canadiens are second, Pittsburgh Penguins are second, the Chicago Blackhawks are third, and the Anaheim Ducks, well, I guess there's one. The Anaheim Ducks are sitting in top spot in the Pacific Division. So right now, if I was going to go with the head, I might actually be inclined to go with the Anaheim Ducks.
Really?
No, I would.
The Anaheim Ducks right now, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. I didn't expect that.
Everything seems to be working for them, which is really bizarre because you know who's behind the bench of the Ducks, don't you?
No, who is?
Former coach of the Washington Capitals who finally got frustrated with Alexander Ovechkin.
Oh, really?
Yes.
That's who's over there, huh?
Yeah. So, interesting. I mean, is Anaheim going to have an easy time getting out of the Pacific or even the Western Conference? No. Without a doubt, Calgary is going to give them a handful. I believe Chicago is going to be very, very tough. And this is where maybe I'm judging teams on past performance, but I don't see Nashville making it out of the first round, no matter how high they finish in the Western Conference.
Really?
When I see Nashville, they kind of remind me of the Atlanta Hawks in the NBA. Like they're having a great start right now, but like you said, just based off their track record, and I don't know if this team's going to sustain success in the playoffs. So we'll see what happens. Another question I had was for Toronto. Obviously, they're having a horrible season right now. Is there any truth to the fact I heard a rumor about Toronto possibly moving away from Phil Kessel?
Well, let's put it this way. Dave Nonis is the general manager of the Toronto Maple Leafs, and he says that he's not ready to start trading his players away, but he's told the general managers around the NHL to start preparing offers because he's not going to disclude any offer. The report doesn't rule out the possibility of high-profile players like Phil Kessel, like defenseman Dion Phaneuf being traded prior to the NHL trade deadline. Kessel, interesting player. I mean, he came from the Boston Bruins organization, but he's actually played extremely well with the Maple Leafs. He's 45 points, 20 goals, and 25 assists in 51 games this season. Phaneuf has 22 points. He was injured the last couple of games. He's expected to be back in the lineup here the next time the Toronto Maple Leafs suit up, which I believe is not until Saturday. Could be Friday's game. I got to double check that. But anyways, none of these players are being excluded. I think what the Toronto Maple Leafs need, and I mean, I'm certainly not a fan of the team itself, so I don't pay too close attention. But their goaltenders, they've got their goaltenders young, and they haven't got one with a ton of experience. So I'm wondering if they might be looking at trying to add some experience between the pipes. But by the time they do that, they'll already have Jonathan Bernier that got 3 years of experience. So, I mean, I don't know if the goaltending is really the answer. I think that there's a couple of players in the dressing room that the reports say are they're uncoachable. And I don't know if it's Dion Phaneuf. I don't know if it's Phil Kessel. I don't know if it's a combination of those two. But everything seems to point to those two as being the two players that are the least coachable in the Toronto Maple Leafs organization.
Wow. That's pretty... Now, you mentioned the New York Islanders.
Mm-hmm.
But they're one of the teams that you're shocked about, right?
Absolutely.
Why?
I mean, you look at the New York Islanders from the 80s, and there's a team that nobody would have been shocked about watching them perform. But we're not talking about the 80s anymore. We're not talking about the Mike Bossy era. We're not talking about the Billy Smith in between the pipes. We're talking about a team that actually had a couple of good NHL draft picks and is doing something with these players. And that something is leading the division that they're playing in. They're playing out of the Metropolitan Division, and they've got 65 points, one better than the Pittsburgh Penguins right now. They're not top in the East, but they're top in their division, and that's something to be said about where they're at right now. And the New York Islanders have a pretty good schedule coming up. They play tomorrow night against Philadelphia. They play Saturday against Boston. Then they play Sunday against Buffalo. They should be able to take 2 of those 3 games. And then they have teams that they can't take lightly 3 in a row, but it's quite possible that they'll pick up wins in all 3 against the Edmonton Oilers, the Toronto Maple Leafs, and the Columbus Blue Jackets. They don't start getting a hard schedule until they get into the second half of February, when they have to play the teams like the New York Rangers, the Nashville Predators, the Washington Capitals. And I think that's going to be the test week for the New York Islanders when they play 4 games in 6 days, they're going to have to find a way of being 500 or better in those 4 games. And if they are, I think they'll be able to roll through the rest of the rest of the regular season and do quite well.
I got to give my props to Detroit for the fact not only they moved to the Eastern Conference, but just the fact for all the traveling they got to do now since they're in the new division, and they still find a way to pick up wins. They're not the best team in the NHL, in my opinion, but I don't know, man. It seems like Detroit could find a way to have a better outing in the playoffs than they did last year.
Well, let's take a look at that for a second, and maybe Jeff will agree with me, but you got to blame Gary Bettman because I have yet to find a person that will say with conviction that Detroit should be in the Eastern Conference.
Mm-hmm.
No way.
The team should not be in the Eastern Conference. It plays in the Central Time Zone.
Mm-hmm.
The Eastern Conference is 2 teams heavier than the Western Conference.
Mm-hmm.
You put the Detroit Red Wings in the Central Division where they should be, and you have 2 conferences that have 15 teams each. You have a conference in each conference, you have a division in each conference that'll have 7 teams, and another one that'll have 8. It's just bizarre. I mean, we don't want to waste the last 15 minutes of the show talking about this again, but you're right. The Detroit Red Wings have found a way to combat that adversity and play outside of their time zone, even when playing in their own division, which is it's unheard of.
Yeah.
But they've found a way to win and be successful and be right there in the thick of things. They're sitting 3rd place, technically 2nd. They're tied with the Montreal Canadiens for 67 points.
Right. It's going to be an interesting coming down to the end of the finals like it usually is. Right? Okay, let me ask you a question. Who do you think the best team in the East is?
Best team in the East?
Yes.
All things considered, don't look at current standings or anything like that right now.
Right.
You know what? I'm not a fan of this team. They're probably ranked right down there with Boston, in my opinion, but the New York Rangers are a team that is very dangerous from top to bottom and has the ability to do things again this year like they did in the 1993-94 season when they won the Cup.
Okay, now who's the team in the West?
Anaheim. Anaheim is just consistent all the way through. Anaheim, the only team that has a better goals differential in the West is the Calgary Flames. But the Calgary Flames, they don't score as many goals as the Anaheim Ducks do. St. Louis Blues have the best goals differential as far as the Central Division goes, but Anaheim doesn't play in that division. Anaheim has proven that they can play in the postseason. St. Louis hasn't. If you're looking for a team out west, Anaheim comes up on my list again.
Really?
California dominating the NHL.
Yeah, without question.
Yep.
Interesting.
Final break, buddy?
Yeah, let's run through our final break. Well, you're listening to Josh Lopez, Jeff Escow, and Ron Gallo on
Sports World Radio.
We'll be right back.
I had PTSD. Once I was back from Iraq, I was distant from everybody in my family.
We had a reunion of our unit, and you'd hear these spouses say, "Is your husband doing that? My husband's doing that too. I thought it was just us." And really understanding that, hey, this is a common experience.
I learned more to listen to what he was saying, and that made it easier for me to understand where his pain was coming from.
Warriors should know that resources are available. Learn more at realwarriors.net.
Every parent wants the safest and healthiest products for their family. That's why I created The Honest Company. I was just a concerned mom with a crazy dream. A wish that there was a company that I could rely on that did all of the hard work for me. I'm Jessica Alba, and The Honest Company was my dream.
LegalZoom has helped 1 million businesses successfully get started, including Jessica's. Launch your dream at LegalZoom today. Call us. We're here to help.
Confusion ever someone or have sudden you trouble had speaking, understanding?
Understanding trouble? Have you sudden have or speaking someone ever confusion?
Have you ever had sudden confusion, trouble speaking, or understanding someone?
It could be one of the 5 signs of stroke.
Sudden weakness or numbness of the face, arm, or leg.
Sudden trouble with vision in one or both eyes.
Suddenly having trouble walking or difficulty with balance.
Or a sudden intense headache that comes out of nowhere.
If you or someone you know has any of these symptoms, don't wait. Call 911 immediately. You could make a difference in someone's life, someone you love, maybe even your own.
It's late until, wait, don't too.
Don't wait until it's too late. Time lost is brain lost.
Find out more at powertoendstroke.org. Brought to you by the American Heart Association, American Stroke Association, and the Ad Council.
Hey everybody, this is Sky, and when I want to know what's going on in the wonderful world of sports, I tune to Sports World Radio.
Welcome back to Sports World Radio. Josh Lopez, Ron Gallo, finishing up the finest 2 hours of sports talk on the internet. I guarantee it. Okay, Joshy, where we going next?
Before we move on to the next subject, I just wanted to get Ron's picks for the games tonight. I guess we could start off with Pittsburgh at Edmonton.
I'm going with Pittsburgh in this one, but like I said, Edmonton needs to actually win that game.
I think Edmonton's going to win in a shootout.
Interesting.
In a shootout, huh?
Yeah. For some reason, I feel that Pittsburgh struggles on the offensive side on the road. I think it'll be like a 3-2 type of game, but I think Edmonton wins in the shootout.
See, I'm giving a 3-goal differential for Pittsburgh. I'm going with more like a 4-1, 5-2 game.
Yikes. Next one, Boston Bruins at the New York Rangers.
I'd rather leave that one till last because that one's the tough one. Let's go jump over to the other game, San Jose and Calgary.
I'm going to go with Calgary at home.
Calgary at home is not a bad little pick. I'm going to give you that. This is 2 teams that play in the same division. These are 2 teams that, obviously points are at a premium. These 2 teams are very close to one another in the standings. If you look at it, they are number 2 and number 3 in the Pacific Division with 2 points separating them. Calgary has something to play for. San Jose has something to play for as well. I'm with you. I'm gonna go. This is where I'm gonna say overtime, or at maybe like an empty net goal for Calgary, and I'm gonna say that the Flames are gonna beat the San Jose Sharks in that one.
Now the big one at MSG tonight.
It's already under.
Rangers.
Yeah, it's already under pregame, and this one here is one of those almost rival games between an original 6 matchup of the Boston Bruins and the New York Rangers, and again, 2 teams that are very, very close in the standings, even though they play in different divisions. The Rangers have 62 points. The Boston Bruins have 61. Boston's coming off of 2 wins. New York Rangers are coming off of 2 wins. The Madison Square Garden is going to be electric tonight for this game. This one's going to go probably to the team that scores first. I think it's going to be the New York Rangers. It's not going to be a cakewalk, but I think that the Rangers are going to take this one again, probably 2-goal differential on this one.
I wouldn't call it an upset, even though I feel Boston's been the most disappointing team in the NHL this season, but I'm going to go with Boston on the road.
Boston,
it'll be interesting to see. I'll be checking the scoreboard later, Josh. Maybe you might be taking over my title.
You never know.
Yeah, we'll be tuning in to listen to Josh and his hockey talk.
Oh, well, he hasn't been right all year, so.
Well, we'll see how it goes. I've gone with Pittsburgh, Calgary, and New York Rangers.
Yeah, you're going with all the home teams, aren't you?
No, Pittsburgh is a visitor.
Pittsburgh is a visitor, huh?
Yeah.
Pittsburgh Pirates or Pittsburgh Steelers.
I can't even. Come on.
I went to the Pirates. I went to the Steelers. I'll get there, freaking Penguins.
Yeah, there you go.
He hates Pittsburgh.
Hey, what's the deal with Rick Nash?
New York Rangers.
Did he just get traded to them?
No, he's been there for a little while.
They've been talking a lot about Rick Nash on this program. What's going on with him? Something
as far as I know, he's not in the news for anything specific other than, he's turning into the New York Rangers MVP.
Oh, is that what's going on?
As much as I don't care for Mark Messier, he is the current day Mark Messier of the New York Rangers.
Oh, is he really?
Yeah.
See, now you told me what I wanted to know by saying what you just said. The Mark Messier of nowadays.
There you go.
Yeah, see, I understand that. I get that concept. Not a lot of people do. So, see, people who didn't follow them back then won't understand.
Well, yeah. No, the New York Rangers are, you remember when the Rangers were basically a graveyard. They were the retirement home of the NHL. They're not that anymore. They've got certainly some significant players in that roster. You look at Lundqvist between the pipes. You look at the likes of Rick Nash. Martin St. Louis is in there. So there's some talent in that New York Rangers roster. And like I said, they kind of play. They're not in your face. They're not bold. They're not brash. They're not. They're not out there to kick your teeth in. They just get the job done.
There's a lot of experienced guys on the roster. You got Lundqvist, obviously, at goal. You have Martin St. Louis. Speaking of those type of players, are there any of those current guys like a Henrik Zetterberg or a Martin St. Louis or Lundqvist that may consider retirement?
I think it's a little early for Martin St. Louis. Yeah, it's hard to say when you look at the different teams. St. Louis, I think he wants something before he's going to start talking about. He's going to want something before talking about retirement. Henrik Lundqvist, by the way, he won't be in the lineup tonight. He's in, so he's a scratch.
Okay.
I think that they're going to go with Cam Talbot between the pipes, which means that the pressure is on the likes of Ryan McDonough and Dan Girardi to keep that puck away from the blue paint, and could be tough with the Boston Bruins. Boston Bruins are starting to get healthy. Zdeno Chara is at the top of his game again. So this, like I said, this is the tough one. This is going to be a good game tonight.
I know that pitchers and catchers should be reporting to spring training soon.
Pretty soon,
Jeff,
yeah.
Ron, are you a fan of any particular baseball teams?
I don't know if I'm a fan of any particular baseball team. It's easy for me to cheer for the Toronto Blue Jays because they really do heavy up on the Toronto Blue Jays coverage as far as media goes here in Canada. It is the only Canadian team in the major leagues. So there's them and the Seattle Mariners, but yeah, I think if I have a favorite, if I want to see a team do well, it'll be the Toronto Blue Jays.
How about the NBA? Who do you think's gonna win the finals this year?
Might be a little early for me to be making predictions in the NBA because I don't follow them nearly enough. I do know that the Toronto Raptors have been doing well, not as late, but they have been doing well this season. It could be interesting to see how they do. Brooklyn and Toronto are playing tonight, by the way, and that's an interesting one for sure. I don't know. You look at some of the teams out east, and you hate to drop their names all the time, but the Boston Celtics seem to be up there. Out west, I don't know if I have a favorite just yet in the NBA.
Me and Jeff, I wouldn't say we have a bet, but I said that Jeff would be a Red Bastard of the Week because he said the Bulls won't make the finals. So.
It depends on what happens now. And see, the problem with the East, it's all up for grabs. That's the problem with the East.
I think it is. Like I said, Toronto was doing well for a while, and they're still kind of holding on to a good spot in the Eastern Conference. I think you'll have to correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm reading them as being number 1 in the Atlantic Division and number 2 overall in the Eastern Conference.
Yes, correct.
Yep.
Atlanta's number 1,
so I mean,
they're number 2.
Sorry about that. I mean, it's easy for me to cheer for the Toronto Raptors for the same reason that I cheer for the Toronto Blue Jays. It's simply because they are the only team in the majors that play that sport in Canada. But I don't know. Toronto needs to be able to get past that first round into the second round, and then maybe they might have a chance to go a little bit farther. Maybe the team that's surprising me out west, and I'm only looking at the standings, I wouldn't have expected to see Golden State at the top of those standings.
There you go. I didn't expect to see that either. And on that note, we're going to get the flock out of here today. I want to thank everybody for joining us. I hope you guys had as much fun as we did, because I know we did. Remember, you only have one life to live. Live it long, live it strong, and live it proud. And please don't forget, life may suck, but the alternative is unacceptable.
Amen.
Peace out, everybody. For Josh Lopez, Ron Gallo, I'm Jeff Escal. This has been Sports World Radio. See you tomorrow.
See you later, Red Bastards.
Hey, boys, Stimpy. We sure had fun today, didn't we? So long, kids. Come on, Stimpy, say goodbye.
Where are we going?
The